Hello, and welcome to another episode of Entertainment Roadmap. Today, I am here with the ladies of Trauma Bond. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Hi, I'm Alex Kattan.
I'm Candace Mizga.
And I'm Kelsey Susino. We're so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you guys. The first thing I want to ask is, what was the Trauma Bond release party for the third episode like? Because I had just started following Kelsey when I heard about it. So now I need to hear all the deets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a fun and stressful thing to plan. We were pressed for months, but yeah, you want to get into
it? We wanted to kind of showcase what we had done so far. Our web series, it's a little irreverent, it's a little out there. And so we thought, let's throw a little rager and combine it with a screening. So it was a blast. We had live DJs. We got to screen all of our episodes. All of our friends came. It was amazing.
Yeah, everyone was in costume. It was so much fun.
That's so odd. The whole time I was seeing this, I'm like, I wish I could be in California right now. I would so go. I was like living vicariously through you guys. But
we wish you were there next time.
next time, definitely, yes. But let's talk a little bit about Trauma Bond. So like Candace kind of said, it's a little bit out there. It's really it's funny. It has good humor. What inspired this? How did it come to be?
Yeah, definitely. We're all primarily actors, but I think as actors, a lot of times you feel like you're waiting for a role to come for you. And we're also artists and we wanted to be creating. And so we kind of banded together. We had all met at NYU where we studied acting, moved out to LA, and we said, let's make something. And Trauma Bond
That is
was
really
born.
how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all just kind of started hanging out together and decided we need to make something. We want to make something. And horror comedy, I don't remember exactly why we picked it, other than it was something we're all interested in. We thought we could all, where I think Candace and I both were like, we're not funny. We can't but Alex is hilarious. So she's like a resident funny person. And Candace and I were kind of pushing ourselves to try and do that. But now I think comedy is some of my favorite stuff to do. And horror comedy, I think it can be that like fun mashup of, we love Scream, not Scream, I love Scream, but the Scary Movie franchise. And I think originally we wanted to do something a little bit of a cross between that and Please Don't Destroy. But as we've been working on it and growing the project and expanding our collaborators, it definitely has gotten to be a little bit more produced, and we've definitely really enjoyed moving in that direction. And it is kind of also why it takes us so long in between episodes, because we're producing it ourselves, we're writing it ourselves, we're finding all our collaborators. And we've been really blessed and lucky with all the people we've worked with, have really been so supportive and amazing. But it's been work, but at least it's work that we're excited to do.
Yeah.
No,
And we've been
sorry.
so sorry.
Sorry, I
We've
didn't cut you off.
we've been like so lucky to, be able to, because none of us were from LA. So, the three of us, we kind of reconnected, and we didn't know a whole lot of people in the area. And, in this industry, it's all about who you know. And I think that, this has really helped us to meet people in the industry and really learn from them. Because we studied acting, we didn't study producing or writing or any of that. And so we've really been able to learn as we go through these amazing artists who have just been so amazing to, help us out and, believe in the project.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things about Trauma Bond is it's an anthology series. So every episode stands alone. It's a different story, new characters, and because of that, we do work with a different team on each episode. So it's very cool because every filmmaker that we work with kind of has their own unique style and their own unique way of working. And so through that, we've learned so much too. It's been like kind of like a master class in filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you brought up one. I think Candace brought up that you, as an actor, like sometimes you have to find your own work. And then Alex, you just brought up that you studied acting, not the whole industry. I think that's so important because people just think like, okay, you study, you be an actor, you go and you're in the industry. Like they just think that once like it's easy to get a foot in the door, but it's really not. And you have to make your own work. You have to kind of learn these other aspects. It's such a broad kind of umbrella, and I think you ladies are doing phenomenal at it. And Trauma Bond, it's so effortlessly funny, and but it's also like a little spooky. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm waiting for that fourth episode.
Thank you. We are moving in for our next episode. It is going to be a little bit more suspenseful, a little bit scarier. So we're collaborating with someone who's actually really, we won't give too much away, but who is like a horror guy. So we're excited to spook it up a little bit more for this next one.
Oh my, I'm gonna keep that on my radar, and I'm gonna make sure everyone on the who listens to the podcast, that's on their radar as well. And the first episode has 84,000 views on YouTube. I mean, that's phenomenal. How did you work on like getting the word out, spreading it, and making sure that you got those viewers?
Yeah, I think a lot of our marketing has just been through social media so far. A little bit through word of mouth. I think that one actually started to blow up, and then we got hit with the parental advisor, which kind of stopped our views, sadly. I kind of understand why. But yeah, through social media so far has been our main marketing.
That's really impressive because social media can be so hit or miss sometimes. Like sometimes you can put something out there and it does great, and then other times it flops. But I think this is just a true testament to your hard work, your acting, and your skills. So congratulations.
Thank you. And I got really lucky because I know like nothing about social media. I use it primarily to watch dog videos, but these two like actually know what they're doing, and so I'm just kind of like, please take the reins.
Yeah,
that is what's cool about, I think, the three of us is we all complement each other's skills very well, and we work really well together, and we'll collaborate on each aspect of the project, like the writing, the producing, the casting, all of it. But we all do shine in different areas, so it also definitely is a good meshing of the team, which is very lucky. I'm very grateful for these two.
that's amazing.
Likewise.
And kind of going into NYU, how did all three of you get your start in acting, and like what made you want to pursue it?
Definitely. I can start. So I actually grew up on a farm and I was homeschooled. So I was a very shy child, a little bit weird, still am. But I was very creative and I loved storytelling and I loved reading books. I actually wasn't allowed to watch TV and watch movies that often growing up. Very holistic. But I think because of that, I was more creative and I started taking acting classes and getting into theater. Absolutely fell in love with it. And flash forward to a couple years, I moved to New York City and started pursuing acting professionally. So, yeah, bit of a wild jump around.
Really cool.
Yeah, you would never know that she grew up on a farm. Like when I met her, I thought she was kidding, and I was like, "What a weird joke to make!" But no, I pictures. True.
That made its way into our first episode too, the horse joke that I don't think anyone understood, but we liked it, so we kept it. We said we're not going to budge on the horse joke.
That's like, oh, that's so cool. And that when I rewatch, I'll be like, oh, that's an ode to Candace.
Yeah.
Horse girl.
Horse girl, we love. Okay, I guess I'll go next. My path is, I guess, a little bit more traditional. I grew up a dancer, and that was really my focus. And then for high school, where I went to high school in New Jersey, I went to this program that was, I auditioned for acting and dance, and I ended up choosing acting and really decided, oh, wow, this is what I want to do. So I just kept moving more into acting, and then I auditioned for NYU and luckily got in. And from there, it always kind of felt like I knew what I wanted to do. I just was never, I guess, well informed enough. Everything is like hindsight, where it's like, oh, I wish I knew that 5 years ago, or I wish I knew this helpful thing 2 years ago, even. So I feel like I've really learned a lot throughout the process, but uh, and definitely had a path to follow, but have been fumbling my way there the entire time, and it's been fun. It makes for a lot of fun detours, I'd say.
Definitely, definitely. And what's one thing that you learned that you wish you would have known 2 or 5 years ago?
Oh goodness, that's a good question. Oh, there's so many. I think just the main thing is I was such a shy person growing up. I was really shy up until I probably graduated college. And a lot of people meet me now and don't believe me because I've become more talkative and a lot more sure of myself and secure in myself. I think one thing to learn is you can be your own biggest critic, and you also just need to learn how to be your own best friend and believe in yourself, because that's the only way other people are going to start to believe in you, is if you believe in yourself first. So there's a ton of other kind of more tedious steps or minute details that I could get into, but I think that's the major one, is always be your friend and believe in yourself, and you will have a lot more, I, I don't know if generosity is the right word, but like grace with yourself to try things. Like, I don't think I would have been able to try Trauma Bond a couple years ago. Actually, that's when I graduated college. I tried to make a pilot and I was really lucky. People were really supportive, but I was so embarrassed the whole time that I didn't let people read the script before we started. I was too embarrassed and I was too shy. And then once it was done, I was just not as happy with it as I could have been, and then just didn't like keep pursuing anything with it, because I was like, oh yeah, if I wasn't so worried about what people would think, I could have made this better. So now it's lucky that I have kind of believed in myself more, and found really awesome collaborators to keep pushing myself into the direction of, you got this, don't worry about it. Like, no one cares as much as you care.
Yeah, no, that's really great advice, especially for people who want to make that first step, because it is really daunting. But thank you for that.
Yeah. I kind of have like, a similar story where, I was very shy, my whole life, like didn't have a lot of friends, but I always wanted to be an actor, like since I was 2 years old. I didn't know what acting was, but I wanted to do it. I was watching Barney and I was like, I want to hang out with Barney. Um, and then I just never changed my mind. And then, I kind of took that dream, took it to NYU. Um, and I think something that like I've learned that I wish I had known earlier was just do it. Like it's so vulnerable to create your own work, and you're constantly comparing yourself to all these things, but like these amazing like movies and shows, but you're comparing your start, your first draft to final products. And you don't know how many drafts it took. You don't know how many people, collaborated on this, incredible thing. And you're never going to get anywhere if you don't start. And if you don't share your work with people, you're never going to get better. And you never know, people might actually like it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And kind of going off of that, I always say like you're just one view away or one person away from making that big break. Kind of like I always like to go back to Justin Bieber, how he posted a video on YouTube and got found that way. Like if you're not putting stuff out, none of that's ever going to happen. And you're always just one person away from someone seeing that. And I think you guys are on the track to that. And I'm crossing my fingers that someone big sees it soon and really gets in touch with you guys. And I mean, I would love to see, because I love anthology. I would love to see this like as a TV series, kind of following the three girls. I think that's so cool.
Thank you.
No
One of those goals down the line. Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, Whose idea was it to make Trauma Bond an anthology?
I think it was really a group idea. Like it really all just fell into place. We were talking about making our own work. We wanted to film something, just get creative. And then I kind of said, well, if we're going to make something, let's make something. Let's make it a web series. And they're like, what kind of web series? Let's do comedy. And then um, Halloween was coming up and it kind of turned into horror comedy. And then we started writing the next one and we were like, well, this is also horror comedy, but it's different. And then it came to be. And I'm
I
glad.
think I think we really wanted to do an anthology series because as actors, we often, don't get to decide what kind of roles we play. Sometimes you get put in a box and you only get to play a certain type of role. And, I think that we're very versatile actors and, like we have a lot of training and, we want to be able to access all these different parts of ourselves. And so this is our way of allowing us to do that and to be seen in ways that maybe people thought that we, couldn't be seen.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I just have to ask, in episode 2, who wrote the class pass joke?
That was kind of based on a true story, actually. I used to work at a gym as one of my day jobs, and there was a little bit of shade towards the class passers.
That's actually that's a fun story to know because that joke, I literally was watching it and I laughed out loud. My mom was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And I just heard one of the funniest things ever because I didn't know what class pass was until I heard Kelsey and her sister talking about it at Christmas Eve. I didn't know it was even a thing. So then
Definitely a community, but
I found out about it and then I started using it. And I was like, it's actually the shame around it is so silly because it actually is really useful, but
It's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
we
no,
love
I've thought about doing it too. And then after, I heard about like, this like gang war in the gym, I was like, maybe not. I have a hard enough time showing this anyway. I don't need people hating me.
But you can even get like your hair and your nails done through it. It's not just like gym, I don't think.
Yeah, you can like do spa stuff.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
I think class pass
I
is
took
awesome.
this really cool aerial class during class pass. It was great. It was like silks and everything. It was sick. The thing is, like, they want you to sign up for their studio, so you always have to come in braced for that. But it's fun.
but here on Entertainment Roadmap, we're ending the shame against ClassPass. ClassPass is okay.
Yeah,
We are using ClassPass and we are having I don't know, more money
a
in our
code for
pocket.
it.
Yes. That was so funny.
Sponsored by class pass.
Kind of with Trauma Bond, how did you find a group of creatives that you could collaborate with? Was it just through word of mouth or people you knew?
Yeah, I think it started off actually where our first episode, we were like, oh, we need a crew. So we literally posted on Facebook and different groups, like industry crew groups, to get a response. And then for director, we asked someone actually we knew who was in a grad program out here, but she wasn't available. And she recommended a really awesome director, Gab, to us for our first episode. And so that was word of mouth. And then the second and third episodes, I think it was building off of either connections we've met on set, or I remember there was a show I was working on that we met the woman Natasha who directed our third episode, and through that show that we both worked on, we got our DP who was a camera op on like an actual TV show. So it's like the more we've done this, and I guess the longer we've been out here, you meet more people, and it is really cool because people do want to help you. Everyone wants to make something. So definitely don't be embarrassed to ask your friends or even ask friends of friends or people you've worked with, because everyone's excited about making things. I think even something Candace was just on, the director wants to direct one of our future episodes. So it's so exciting, like the support we've gotten around it. And people are really, really kind. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. And congratulations for being on a show and having a director who wants to work with you again. That's really exciting. Do you, when you brainstorm your ideas, do you work together in person or do you do it virtually? How does a brainstorm session or writer's room, I would call it, look for you guys?
It's definitely a mix. A lot of times one of us will come up with an idea and start writing a draft, and then we'll bring it in, and then we'll work on it together. We'll read it out loud together. We'll hear what it sounds like, and then give each other suggestions. And then one of us will go away and rewrite. It's very collaborative. Sometimes it's on Zoom. Sometimes it's in my living room. Sometimes it's at our favorite coffee shop. Um, but it's always a lot of fun. And I think that it's cool that we're all actors too, because we can act it out and hear it and kind of like start to get it up on its feet. And it's nice to be able to do that, to hear it out loud.
Yeah, and some of our best ideas like have come after, we thought that the script was finalized and, we're like already like, moving towards like filming and then someone's just like, "Wait, what if instead of this ending, like we do this?" And then it's like, "Oh my God, like that's crazy." And so definitely just always being open to letting the project like evolve and, become what it was meant to become. Um, has been really fun and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely have to have that patience with yourself, it's that patience with yourself to let it evolve because for my school, I've written scripts before and kind of like Kelsey was saying, I was too embarrassed to show it to anyone. And while that's happening, like you're only doing yourself an injustice because being embarrassed means you don't get feedback, you don't get any of that. And I think one thing about the entertainment industry is there's a lot of anxiety for people who are newcomers. And I think it's so daunting. There's so much there. What advice would you have for someone who they're a little kid now and they're like, I want to be an actor when I grow up?
I think take an acting class, a good acting class, and start auditioning. I think auditioning is the only way you're really going to learn how this industry works or understand anything about being an actor. It takes a lot longer than a lot of people think. And I think starting and putting in the work is what I would say. Start and put in the work. Someone else.
I think don't be afraid to look stupid.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to fail. I think for a long time personally, I was just such a perfectionist that I tried to do everything so perfectly in acting, and that's not how it's supposed to be. You are a human, and humans are definitely not perfect. So just don't be afraid to look stupid.
Yeah. And don't, don't do the scene or the monologue the way that you think it's supposed to be done. Uh, really let it come from an organic in the moment place. You're not going to break it. You're not going to break the scene. You're not going to ruin it. If anything, you can only make it better by trying something new and different and organic in the moment. And I think most importantly, um, just, be a good person, be professional. Don't be afraid to, reach out to people, make connections. Because you never know who has a brother, who has a cousin, who has a dog that, has a show that, you could be perfect for. So just don't be afraid to make connections and use your network.
Yeah, no, that's great advice from all three of you. And another trauma bond question kind of popped into my head. What is a typical day on set like, and what's the filming experience like?
That's good. I think our days on set, I don't know if I'd even say they're typical, but we do so much pre-production and it's it's a lot of work before shoot day, but it just means our shoot days are so they've, knock on wood, they've been really seamless thus far. We have our shot list, we have our call sheets, we have, you know, the order of what we're doing, and we get everything really set up so that way we're not surprised on shoot day, because, you know, no matter what, something's going to happen. Maybe an actor's late, or um, who knows what, something just like the lighting isn't working out, or we don't actually like the shot we planned. It doesn't matter because we've like planned so much that it actually goes really well.
I think our shoot days are so much fun. Like, it's finally the time where the three of us can kind of let go of producing a little bit and show up as actors, and they're a blast. And everyone that we work with is amazing and has been so much fun. So very lucky.
Yeah, I think sometimes like I'll forget that I'm acting in what we're creating, you know, because we're focused so heavily on the producing and like, you know, worried about how everything's gonna go on the film day and like, oh, what if this happens when we have to have a plan B and whatever. And then like when we actually get there, I'm like, oh yeah, do I know my line? Like what? I'm in. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, and it's really nice to be able to have you know, a group of people that, you know, you can trust to where on the shoot day, you know, you just have to focus on yourself and your role.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I think it's cool that you guys get to experience both sides, the producing and the acting. But here at Entertainment Roadmap, we love to do a hot seat section. So are you down to sit in the hot seat and answer some questions?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Don't worry, they're not like anything crazy. The first one,
I'm nervous.
this is probably the craziest. Tea or coffee?
Coffee,
Coffee.
coffee. Right now.
Coffee. I have my little butt mug right here full of coffee.
Okay, I'm also a big coffee girl, so I totally agree. And then if you could guest star on any TV show, which one would it be? It can be past or present.
White Lotus.
Succession.
There's too many. Oh my goodness. Always Sunny. I would love to be an Always
Oh,
Sunny.
I half my answer to that. That's my favorite show. I love It's Always Sunny. Okay, these were all good. I also want to be on White Lotus.
When I was younger, I always wanted to guest star on Pretty Little Liars. That was like my dream.
I was obsessed with Pretty Little Liars. I changed my mind. PLL all the way.
I read all the books as a kid. I loved that book, but the show was cool too. But I was a book girly for PL.
And what song is on repeat for each of you right now?
Horses by Maggie Roger.
To check on it. Oh, I've been listening to Valerie by Amy Winehouse.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love that song. This song just like popped into my head. I don't know if it is. I've been listening to a lot. Oh, okay, it's by Blonde Shell. It's called Kiss City, and it's cute. It's my song of the moment, not my all time, but of right now.
I'm gonna check all three of those out because I also have to say, Kelsey, you have the best taste in music. And when I heard your playlist, I like added all of them to my playlist. And now Dive is one of my favorite songs. And thank you for that.
I love that song. Oh, of course. I'll send you music recs anytime.
And then what about Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple.
I always say if he has an Android, goodbye. Those green bubbles, no.
That's probably why Spencer upgraded to an iPhone. I think. Thank you for that. He used to have an Android.
I told him that. I was like, good thing you didn't have an Android when we met.
He said,
And then cats or dogs?
Oh.
I feel like that's a hard question.
I'm gonna say dogs because I'm allergic to cats, but I do love cats.
Yeah, you're very cat energy. In a good
I
way.
love them both. I've had cats and dogs. I am allergic to cats, but I love them. I'd say I'm a cat, but I'm gonna pick a dog.
Yeah, I love both. But I grew up with dogs and, you know, just the way that they provide you with unconditional love and they're always happy to see you. I love cats, but they're kind of like, oh, like I don't want your love right now. Like they only want like your attention when it's convenient for them, which I respect. I respect, but I just need something that I can come home to at the end of the day and just be like, love me.
Yes. No, I agree. I grew up with dogs. I'm definitely a dog person, but my sister just got a kitten and I thought I was allergic to cats, but I've recently found out this year that I no longer am. So I slowly am becoming a cat person and I'm so excited. My sister lives in Virginia, so she's coming to New Jersey and bringing her cat with her, and I cannot wait. So I'm slowly becoming a cat person also.
Spend enough time at my parents' house, Allie. They'll send you home with some cats. Oh my goodness.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun talking with you three and talking all about Trauma Bond. I wish you the best in the future, and I can't wait to see the next episodes.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you so much for having us.
This was so fun.
Thank you so much. Yeah.